right, let's retopologize this model. So what I want you to do is select the model first. So you'll see Q, W, E, and R. Okay, Q is just regular old select. So just hit Q, like quit. Hit Q, then click on it. And then over here, you should have, there's a bunch of different options over here. It's the modeling toolkit. Actually, we will use that in a second. But I want you to go on the last one. That's the channel box. And if you go on the bottom, you'll see the displays here. So with it selected, hit this little rock and paper. And that's just going to allow you to turn it on and off if you need to, okay? So just leave it like that for now. You can double click on it if you want and change the name if that's helpful to you, but we'll just leave it alone for right now. The other thing I want you to do is go up here and make sure that you have this on Object X so it has symmetry. And then the next thing you need to do is make this live. Now, for some reason, some of this stuff isn't showing up here. They can actually be collapsed to these little weird little nublets because there's just a lot of options and such. So with him selected still, I want you to go up here and we're going to make this surface live. So you're going to click on this right here. And you'll see the name of the model will show up here. Okay. So now you'll see I can't even click on him, which is great. That's what I wanted to do. Next one I want to do is actually do quad draw. And that's how we're going to retopologize him. Okay. So let's go ahead and I want you to go and click on this one. This is the modeling toolkit. It might show up over there. I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that it's in this panel so it's a little bit easier to work with. Bring that over. And you'll see quad draw. Click on that. And if you scroll down, these are all the options. You honestly don't really need to change anything here. The only thing I would show you is this where it says keyboard mouse shortcuts. If you open that up, it will show you what the hotkeys are. So in case you forget something or what have you, all the hotkeys are here. All right. So anyway, that's useful for that. All right. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to draw the geometry one point at a time in order to make the model. Now, normally what we do with almost everything, right, is we work broad to specific. In this case, we're going to work more specific to broad. And the reason being is that it's going to be a lot easier to try and make something that is dense and detailed go to something that is more sparse and broad. Otherwise, I have to take something, it's like trying to fit like a lot of something in something very small. It's a lot easier to take a lot of, to go the other direction. So that's why we're actually going to start at things like the hands and work in, and maybe this and the face, okay? The most important is probably the face. So I'm going to start with that first and then work out the other parts, okay? So what I want you to do is this. I'm going to go to the face, and mine's a little bit different, so you're going to have to, yours will not be exactly the same as mine. I want you to kind of do it broadly the same, but you might have to make some adjustments in comparison, okay? So I'm going to start with the eye because the eyes are the most important. Now, when you make eyes, you want to go from I want to make it 8 edges without like getting into details about it, but we want there to be 8 points. So what I'm going to do is go to the top and bottom and to the side and side and then go halfway in between, okay? So I'm going to put a point here at the top of his eyelid. I'm going to put a point here at the bottom of his eyelid, okay? Then I'm going to put one here at his tear duct, and then one here where the crow's feet would be, right? So you get it, like the apex, okay? Now what I want you to do is put one halfway in between. I guess that'd be here and here, okay? Now, from there, what we're going to do is this. These are just points. They're not doing anything yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put one right next to this here, okay? And then one right here. And what that's going to allow me to do is that when I hold shift, I can actually make a face, okay? I'm not going to do it yet, but just be aware. So then one from here to up here, here to here, here to, I guess, here, because mine's a little bit weird because I have this mask here. So here to here, here to here, here to here. Good, okay. Now what I want you to do is hold shift, and you'll see a little blue square. It might get a little bit weird. You got to kind of move it around to get it so it's like this. If for some reason you can't get it and it's just not working the way you want, just go ahead and move a point like this, and then click, and then you can just click and drag this point back over, okay? So it's up to you. Oh, also, just so you are aware, I've changed my mesh color. Yours is probably blue, but if you want to change it, you can change it. There's like color and stuff here that you can deal with if it makes you feel good. So like I can make it more see-through, so I can see my model better. I can make it completely opaque. It's up to you. Anyway, so if you got to move it, you can move it afterwards. I'm going to hold shift, click. I'm just holding shift the whole time and clicking each one all the way around. Okay, so now I more or less got kind of his eyelids, so that looks acceptable, we'll say. Let's go ahead and just do the inside of the eye. This is actually pretty easy, so watch. I'm just gonna, well, actually, I gotta do the eyelid. So, like, you see how there's a thickness to my eyelid? So I'm gonna go ahead and just first do this on the inside, like the thickness of my eyelid. You might not have any thickness. If you don't, that's fine, but I do, so I just want to make sure I get that in there, like this. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a single point here. Now watch. I'm going to hold, and I want it to be, see, I'm not getting what I want, right? So I'm actually going to pull this over here like this, and I'm still not getting what I want. So let's try doing it over here and see if I get better luck. Still not getting it. Okay, let me show you this. If I go like this and this, I'm going to click there. Now I'm going to take this point, and if I pull it, it will eventually snap to that point. You can grab and move these points. You can also grab and move the edges, okay? So these are vertices. So now I've got the first one. I'm just going to hold Shift, click. And again, I'm not getting what I want, right? So that kind of sucks. So I'm just going to click here, Shift, click, take this point, drag it there, and then just hold Shift, click there. Okay. So now you can see I basically got his eye hole and the eyelid. Now I'm just going to go a little bit farther, okay? One thing I do want to make a point about, the reason why we're doing it this way, and I'm doing 8, and you should do 8 almost, unless you have like really, really big eyes, like you're doing Gollum or something, then you can go up. But what you want to do is make sure that you have the same number above and below. So if he wants to close his eyes, I can bring this vertice up and this one down and this one up, and they match to each other, okay? So there should be the same number above and below of your model, not just one direction, okay? So you want to make sure they're even, and try to maintain sort of a nice kind of fluidity throughout it all right? So now I'm just going to go another one. So I'm going to go maybe from the eyelid here. Well, see, I got this mask, so I'm just going to go to the mask first. You don't need to do this. Mine's just different because of the way my model is, but you won't need to do this, so don't do this. Should have done something different apparently. Oops, there we go. And I'm just going all the way around. Okay, so see, it's not making it, so I want to move that over. Good, and good, and good. All right, so now I'm just going to pull this back up a little. Oh, I grabbed the edge, pull this back up. Okay, now I'm just going to go around again, so I'm just going to go here, to here, to here, to here. I'm going kind of like, not, actually I'm going to go a little bit lower. Not to where his brow is, basically still to the inside. We'll say the top of the eyelid in a way. And we're just going to go all the way around, kind of where his bags would be. And go all the way around again. Okay. All right, so this is actually a little bit too far. There we go. Okay, so let's go a little bit. I'll make sure I keep this. So you can just grab and move them around a little bit. You might need to. It's going to kind of go to where I'm thinking the eyelid is. Okay, so we'll say something like that. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is, we'll call that a good start for the eye. Let's go ahead and do the mouth. Okay, so this is going to be somewhat similar, also a little bit different. So I'm going to click to the base of the lip. Oop. So the easiest way to do this is I need to have this on center. So I'm going to click and drag till it snaps to yellow. Base of the lip, click and drag, top of the lip. Okay, base of the bottom lip, click and drag to the mid part of the lower lip. Okay, so we'll just do the same thing again here. I'm going to click right here, and then we're going to go up here because he's got his philtrum. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing here, there, to here, and then we'll go to the crease here, to here. Okay, so now if I hold Shift, click. So this one, you can see, oh, it did it. That's actually pretty good. But a lot of times this one doesn't work. So just kind of bring it up, get it to work, then pull this down. It's gonna get darn near flat. And then, so this one's working too, which is great. But you also, again, might need to move them over like so, and then just put them back up so they're where you want them to be. And then hold Shift, good. And for some reason, let's go a little bit higher. Okay. So now we've got some luscious lips here, right? Good. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of do what we did on the other one. So I'm just going to click here, and actually let's get rid of that. Let's click here. I'm going to hold shift. Ugh, I don't like that either. Never mind. Okay, we'll come back to that. All right, so now I'm just going to go around again for the lips. This time I'm going to do a little bit differently. I'm going to go up to the nose, so I'm going to click and drag, okay? And then we'll go up to basically the base of the nose. Then I'm going to go to right here. So this is the nasolabial fold. And then there's that frowning line that goes right here. So I'm going to put one kind of roughly where that would be. And then where the butt of the chin goes. So hold shift, click, 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 and click. All right. So let's say something like that. And then what I'm going to do is, that's obviously pretty broad, especially compared to this. So I just want to add one in between. I'm going to hold control. And if I hover over this line, not this way, but this way, and I'm going to put it about midway and click. And that will actually add another one for us. Now, if you want to smooth this out, if you hold shift and kind of click, it will actually smooth out. Now, you can see it screws it up a little bit. So I'm not going to really do that until later, but you might find it useful. I like to just move the points personally, but I'm going to move this more to like where the crease of the lip is. Okay, and then this will be the frown line one. All right, good. So now we got the start of the mouth and the start of the eyes. Let's go ahead and do the nose. The nose isn't really important. I'm only doing it just because it's sort of an annoying shape to have to make. So that's why we're going at it. I'm going to go ahead and do the whole of the nose first. So we're going to do the inside of the nose. Sorry if this video is disjointed at all, or them in general, because I have to stop telling my kids because school stuff. Anyway, so the easiest way actually to do this hole, is actually to start from the hole and work your way out. So you want to basically make this. I'm going to show you. We're going to go, what if I can do? Okay, so we're going to do it like this. Boom, 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 and boom. Like so. Now, I'm going to hold shift and click. And, nope, not like that, sorry. We got to put one in here too. One there and there. Okay, now, hold shift, click, 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 and click. So you end up with 4. And then we can round this out to more or less make sort of a nostril circle hole. Let's see if I think I went a little bit too far to the outside here. Alright. Like that. Now what I can do is I'm just going to go more or less to the outside here. I'm just going matching each one of these to the next one. So this one to here, this one to here, and then this one to here. And I'm just going to hold shift, click, 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 click. Come on, click, and click. Okay? So you can see we've now made a nose hole. You can share his nose gold with the townspeople. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and let's see. Oops. I'm trying to grab the point. It keeps grabbing the edge. There we go. Pull that a little bit farther. Pull that one a little bit farther. All right. Now, let's go ahead. I'm going to click and drag here. And then we'll click and drag there. And let's put one here. Let's put one here. Just trying to get this connected as best as we can. So we'll go maybe to here and here. And then we'll say here like that. Alright, so now we're kind of getting it to come around. That's looking okay. So I'm going to do sort of the same thing here, but instead of going inwards, it's going to be outwards. So again, I'm going to do the 9 points. I'm going to go point, 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 point. Okay? Put these in, and then hold shift, click, and click. So now we have the roundness of the nose. I'm going to pull that down a little bit. And it's going to actually kind of go more like that, we'll say. That looks acceptable. And I'm just going to hold shift and click here. And then we'll click here. Bring this, I guess, around. Hold shift, click there. Alright, we're kind of getting it. Now you might have to, again, if your character has a really long nose or doesn't have nostril holds at all, you know, you're going to have to do something a little bit different. But hopefully you get the idea of what we're trying to do. At least that's my goal, anyway. All right, so let's say we do this and this. I'm trying to make a grid flow that will flow around the model in the way that it's meant to be. So let's just go like this and then this. That looks acceptable. Let's pull this up a little bit, pull this one. Let's pull this a little bit tighter, pull that up. Let's pull this a little bit more. Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and go another, oops, okay, didn't do anything. I'm going to go another one here. My guy's got kind of a long straight nose, so I'm actually going to kind of keep to this line here, the bridge of the nose. And that should be helpful. Now, the next thing I want to do here is try to make this more of like a crease. So I'm actually going to do this a little bit different. Instead of like cutting across again, I'm going to put one here and here and here. And I'm going to hold shift and click and click. And now that'll make a round line across. Click and click and click. And then this would have to go this way. So if you look, you'll see I don't have enough geometry here. So I did start with 8, just like we did with the eyes. Meaning there are 8 edges going all the way around. It's an octagon. This is also an octagon. But if you look, the mouth's bigger anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some edge loops in between. So I'm going to hold Control and put one here. If I put one up here, I must put one down here to match, right? Because these each got to match with the other one so that I can close his mouth. All right, let's see what that does for us. I'm going to take this and put this closer to here. I'm going to hold Shift and click and have that be like that. And then I think what I'm going to do is bring this one in closer to here. And I'm going to hold Control, put one here, and put one here. And I'm going to bring this out and just kind of pull these out a little bit. So you're probably going to have to adjust the shapes a little bit as you go. Actually, this should go up a little bit. There we go, like that. I'm trying to get it so that it goes up and down so that if you look, this is where the lip comes in. This is the peak of the lip, although I'm a little bit off, it looks like. So peak of the lip, then down the lip, and then peak of the lip, and then down the lip. I'm trying to look for the planes of the mouth. Most of the time with most of the body, you're going to see this sort of, upward plane, then a downward plane, then an upward plane, then a downward plane. And the same thing happens in the face as well. So I'm just trying to maintain that as much as possible. Okay, so let's see what we got going on here. So looks like, I wonder if I just got rid of that, how bad that would look. You know, that doesn't look too bad. So I think what I'm going to do is this. I have this extra line here. I'd either have to add an extra line in here, but I don't want to get that much geometry. It's starting to get a little bit dense on the edge rings. So what I'm going to do instead is actually remove this. So if I hold Control and Shift and click on this line, it'll remove it. And now I can hold Shift and, come on, get in there. Hold Shift and click. Good. And now we have that little piece there. And then I'm going to put one right here. Okay. And this is good because by having an edge really close like that, what it'll do is that it'll actually, when it smooths, this will become a tighter line. And you do have a tighter line under your nose. I really wanted it just so that I can make this crease on the side of my nose a little bit easier to work with. Now, I have this thing where he's going off, the mask is going around. So I'm going to try and use that kind of as a guide as well. So I'm going to click on this, hold Shift, and then I'm probably going to go another one actually. I think I'm just going to go around the horn here like we did before. And just go all the way around. Boom, and let's click this. And Shift, and Shift. Okay, so now I've got the mouth attached to the nose. I got the nose going. Let's just go ahead and see if we can get this attached to the eye. The face is by far the hardest part. Okay, so if you are feeling a little overwhelmed, you dirty dog. Let's try that again. There we go. Don't feel too bad. It's a little bit difficult to work with. So that's just what happens. So let's again do here, and we'll go to here. Okay, so I just want to make sure I have this edge that's matching up with this, because then I can just go boom. And then here is kind of a big span, so I'm actually not, I'm going to go like, we'll say like this. Right? I want to try and keep them as even as possible. You don't want to get really stretched. See how that's super stretched out? It's best, what you're really shooting for are perfect quads, meaning perfect squares. That's not going to happen anyway. That's just no, unless I went much more dense, and I just don't want to go that dense. So then we'll connect this one. Okay, Looks acceptable. All right, and then we can put one here, and then here. There is no perfect solution for any of this. All of it is kind of a give and take. So again, your model, you might have to pull things a little bit farther. You might have to, add more or remove some. Maybe you have a much smaller nose, so you don't put as much geometry in there. Maybe your mouth is really small. My guy's sort of, I kind of chose him like a superhero because they're somewhat generic. So I can actually check right now. This video is getting kind of long. If I turn this off, I can actually see the model as what we have so far. So if I hit 3, I'm going to hit Q real quick, and 3, and then I'll click off. You can see kind of what we have so far. Okay, so he's getting there. I'm gonna hit 1 again. I'm gonna click on it, hit 1, and then I'm gonna turn the model back on. Although this actually will work with the model, you can still do the quad drop. I'm gonna turn it back on. I'm gonna go back to my modeling toolkit, hit back to target weld, and we're back in it. If for some reason you accidentally clicked off and it looks like this, you're like, oh no, I can't figure out how to do it. All you have to do is this. If it looks like this, I would just right click and hold and drag up to object mode, let go, and then just click off. Click back on it. You can actually keep it clicked on, doesn't really matter. Click on it, and then just click on quad draw again, and it'll pop back open. So if for some reason you lose, where you are, just do that, and it should be fine. Okay, so now I'm just going to go, I guess, around this way. Okay, and I think we'll just go all the way around here for the brow. Like this. And let me see. So this kind of goes here. I just want to get this. So this is where I have to make a decision. Do I want to try, this should have been more this way. Do I want to pull this tight here and have it stretched a little, or do I want to start a new row? So this is kind of what I'm talking about. I could go like this instead, but I don't like it as much. Sometimes it's fine, but in this case I have this line here, and I would like to follow the line of his mask a little better, so I'm actually not going to do that. Instead, I'm just undoing, Control Z. I'm just going to go ahead and pull this like this, and I'm going to kind of keep it so it's still in line with this line. Okay, and we'll just pull this up so it's a little more level. All right, and then we'll just go ahead and do the next thing. So I could do this, right, and go something like that, which I might do, I'm not sure, but it's a little bit stretched there. I could also go like this, and then, start a whole new row, and then go like this all the way up, do another one. That's why you got to kind of look at it and think like, okay, do I want to go one way or the other? I think I'm actually going to go this way with it. I think this actually looks a little bit better. I'll just pull this down a little. You generally want to try to avoid pulls. So see how there's more than, this only has 4 edges coming to a point. This one now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's less than preferred. But you're always going to end up with those regardless. There's not really any way particularly around that. So what I'm going to do, mine's a little bit different. Normally what I would say to do is to actually just go, I might add another edge loop here, to go down and around like this. Okay, maybe one more. Maybe not actually, I don't know. But I'm going to go, because I have this line here, I'm actually going to put one here, like so. And then I'm going to put one here and go like this all the way around. So we're just going to go all the way around like so. Let's see, maybe I should just try to bring this all the way to the mask, since he's got like a mask line, and maybe just call that the mask line. That looks okay. A little looser than I would like. Let me see, I'm just going to hold shift and kind of brush this down. It's a little lower res than I would have liked. I'm going to hold shift and kind of see if I can brush this down. We'll go with that for now. I'm not sure. Okay. All right, and now I'm just going to go up. So generally what I try to do is to get a front mask, if you will. Our goal is to try and get circles around the eyes, around the mouth, and then just to get a general nose shape, okay? The nose is a little denser than I would normally like, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay. So now from here, what I would do if I were doing yours, mine's a little bit different because I got this fin shape. I would just go up like this, straight across. Okay, and then just hold Shift, click, click, like that. And then here, I would just bring this down as well. So I'd go like here to here, and then maybe just kind of finish it up like this. And then maybe do one more like that, okay? And then we would call that the front panel. If you look at your face, you'll notice that you have a front panel and kind of side panel and a back panel and a top panel, right? Your head's kind of box shaped. As much as we talk about it being egg shaped, it's actually a really bad way to look at it. You shouldn't look at it like eggs, but that's what you want to do. So just get to this point. I'm going to call the video done. You can now finish the video. I'm just going to go ahead and finish what mine is because he's a little bit different, but I'm going to keep going on this video anyway. And then you can, oh, just to show you too, if you do have a face like this, if you hold Control and Shift, you can click on that. You can also hold Control Shift and click on these to delete them instead of undoing. But because mine's a little bit different, I'm just going to go ahead and finish my front panel, we'll call it, on mine. And then you can, but you can stop here and just go to the next video. But in case you wanted to watch, I'm just going to go ahead and do it on here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then we'll go like this. And then we'll go like that. We'll say it's about as high as I feel comfortable going. And then we'll just go ahead and do, I guess, this to this. And that. And that. And that. And that. And one here and there. Okay. And okay. I'll pull this out a little bit so it's a little more even. All right, I'm going to call that good for my front panel. And then in the next one we'll do is I'm actually going to leave the rest of the head alone. Maybe we'll finish the head. I don't know. But we'll go to the next part next.